You know that moment, right? Before you're about to do something big, something that actually matters to you? Maybe it's sending that email, starting that project, finally having that conversation, or just getting out of bed when every cell in your body is screaming to hit snooze. There's this split second of clarity, and then nothing. A wall goes up. An invisible force holds you back. It feels like resistance, like the universe itself is putting a hand on your chest and saying, "Not so fast," and you listen. We all do. But what if that resistance isn't coming from the universe? What if it's not some mystical force field around your destiny? What if it's coming from a much smaller, much closer source? What if it's coming from you? More specifically, from the very organ you're using to hear these words, your brain. This 3-pound lump of tissue you carry around every day, convinced it's your ally, your command center, your friend. I need you to understand something fundamental right from the start. Your brain is not your friend. It wasn't designed to make you happy, successful, or fulfilled. It was designed through millions of years of evolution to do one job perfectly: keep you alive. Alive is not thriving. Alive is not brilliant. Alive is safe. Alive is predictable. Alive is small. It wants you to conserve calories, avoid predators, which today means awkward social situations or potential rejection, and stick with the known tribe. Your dreams? Your big, audacious, heart-pounding dreams? Your brain sees those as threats, major system errors, deviations from the safe, survivable program. So every time you move towards something grand, it pulls the emergency brake. It floods you with doubt, manufactures exhaustion, and plays a highlight reel of every past failure on a loop. It whispers the most convincing lies you'll ever hear. Who are you to try? Just rest. One more scroll won't hurt. You'll start tomorrow. And the cruelest part? It does all this for what it believes is your own good. It's trying to protect you. But from what? From disappointment, from effort, from the pain of growth. It wants you to keep you soft, scared, and silent. Because in the ancient savanna, that's what kept you from being the slow antelope. The problem is, you're not on the savanna. You're in a world where the greatest dangers aren't lions and tigers, but regret, mediocrity, and that haunting feeling of what if. Your brain's ancient software is running in a modern world, and it's malfunctioning badly. Now, before we go any further, I need to pause here for a second. I'm going to talk about patterns, about clarity, about rewiring how you operate. And when I think about that kind of razor-sharp pattern recognition clarity in action, I sometimes picture a character like Mike Ross from Suits. You know, the guy who could walk into a room and instantly see the chessboard when everyone else was playing checkers. He could absorb information, connect dots nobody else saw, and execute with a kind of clean, disciplined precision. It seemed almost superhuman, right? But here's the critical disclaimer. Mike Ross is a fictional character. What he does is not magic. It's an exaggerated representation of a very real human ability: trained pattern recognition and disciplined execution under pressure. What we're talking about here is real. It's not a TV show trick. These abilities, focus, clarity, discipline, the ability to see through chaos, are not far from what any human can achieve. But they don't come from a photographic memory or a genius IQ. They come from effort, from brutal, consistent, repetitive training of the mind, from understanding that knowing something is the easiest part of the entire journey. The gap between knowing and doing is where every single dream goes to die. I can explain the mechanics of this to you, but I cannot do the work for you. No one can.
Let me give you an analogy everyone gets. Everyone knows the fundamental principle of losing weight, right? You have to burn more calories than you consume, move more, eat less whole foods, cut the processed junk, especially the sugars and empty carbs. Knowing that is trivial. It's not a secret, it's not complicated, but knowing it does not make you lose weight. Doing it does. And doing it is hard. Not because the formula is hard, but because of the personal, emotional, individual reasons we reach for that cookie at 10 p.m. Because of the stories we tell ourselves about comfort and reward and stress. Knowledge does not equal action. Execution is everything. You can know every self-help book by heart and still be stuck. This is about moving from the knowing to the doing, and that path goes straight through the part of you that is wired to resist doing anything hard. So if your brain's default setting is to protect you into obscurity, how do you ever get anything done? How do you step into that bigger life, that bigger dream that I know is waiting for you? Because it is waiting. It's not a motivational poster. It's a quieter truth. There is a version of your life that is bigger, more aligned, more you than the one you're currently living. It's not about being a celebrity or a billionaire. It's about being the most expressed, most capable, most impactful version of yourself. And that life, that dream is just sitting there, patient, waiting for you to step into it. But you can't step into it while you're arguing with your own mind. You have to become the captain of that ship. Not by fighting it head-on in a screaming match, but by learning its operating system and gently, firmly inputting new commands. This brings us to the first and most important shift. It's not about your goals, it's about your intention. Your brain will sabotage goals all day long because goals are future-based, scary, and full of uncertainty. But intention is present moment. Intention is the why behind the what. It's the quality of energy you bring to the starting line, not just the finish line you're staring at. Think of it like this. Two people can go to the same gym, do the same exact workout. One person's intention is rooted in self-loathing. I hate how I look. I have to punish this body. The other's intention is rooted in self-respect. I am honoring my body. I'm building strength to carry me through life. The physical actions are identical. The outcome, in terms of calories burned, might be identical. But the long-term result, the relationship with the process, the sustainability, completely different worlds. The intention determines the outcome because the intention dictates how you show up for the million tiny moments between here and there. It determines whether you see the workout as a punishing grind or a daily act of self-ownership. When I finally understood this, it changed everything. I realized I had been setting goals fueled by fear, by lack, by not enoughness, and my brilliant, protection-obsessed brain was all too happy to help me avoid those scary things. But when I shifted to setting intentions based on service, on contribution, on what felt like a deeper calling, the resistance changed. It didn't vanish, but it lost its power. My brain's protests became like background noise because my why was louder. I was no longer just trying to get somewhere. I was trying to be someone in the process. That is a game your primitive brain doesn't know how to play. It understands threat and reward. It doesn't understand purpose. So the first step in overriding your brain isn't a drill sergeant routine. It's a quiet conversation. Ask yourself, what is my real intention here? Is it to prove something? To escape something? Or is it to express something? To step into a bigger version of yourself? To fulfill a piece of a dream that's meant for you? That dream isn't something you have to frantically build from scratch like a Lego set without instructions. It's more like it's already there, a blueprint, and your job is to align with it, to get out of your own way and let it unfold. You spend so much time looking at someone else's life, wanting their territory, their power, their peace, but you have no power in any territory other than your own. None. Trying to operate there is exhausting and futile. But in your territory, you get to be the master. You get to be the captain of your soul. If you just managed that, if you just took radical, fierce, loving responsibility for your own internal territory, the possibilities that would unlock are staggering.
What are you resisting right now? Not in a vague, life coachy way, but specifically today. What small, good thing are you pushing against? What uncomfortable email are you not sending? What honest conversation are you blocking? You're blocking it because you have this idea of who you're supposed to be. Someone who never rocks the boat. Someone who is always liked. Someone who doesn't fail. instead of leaning into who you actually are and the dream that's waiting for that person. The dream is waiting for the real you, not the perfect, safe, fictional avatar your brain is trying to construct. This is where we make the turn from the why into the how. Because inspiration without application is just a nice feeling that fades by lunchtime. We've talked about the dream, about intention, about territory. Now we have to get practical. We have to train. This is where we move from being a spectator of your own mind to becoming the operator. And it starts with a simple, brutal reframe. Step 1. Redefine the enemy. The pain is the path. Your brain's primary weapon against growth is its aversion to pain. Discomfort, effort, uncertainty, potential embarrassment, it labels all of this as pain, threat, avoid. Your job is to change that label. The secret is not to run from pain, it's to redefine it. Most people think pain is the enemy. Wrong. Pain is the price. It's the currency. You want growth? Pay in discomfort. You want clarity? Pay in focused effort. You want strength? Pay in repetition that burns. When your brain sends the signal, "This is hard, stop," you have to learn to hear a different message. That signal isn't a stop sign, it's a marker. It's the exact indicator that you're on the right track. It's the feeling of the boundary of your old self, and you're pressing against it. So you do this. Every time your brain says, "I don't feel like it," you respond internally with calm clarity. Good. That means I must. You don't argue. You don't negotiate. You simply reinterpret the data. The reluctance is not a warning. It's a trigger. It's the starting pistol. Discomfort becomes your compass, pointing directly toward the thing you need to do. Think of a Mike Ross moment. He didn't become a brilliant legal mind by only reading the easy cases. He consumed complexity. He leaned into the mental pain of dense information, of pattern recognition, of holding multiple arguments in his head at once. That was his training. His pain was cognitive overload, and he rewired himself to see it not as a wall, but as the gym where his mental muscles were built. You are doing the same thing, just in your own arena. The ache in your legs on a run, that's not damage. It's the signal of your body adapting, getting stronger. The knot of anxiety before you speak up, that's not danger. It's the energy of your voice waiting to be used. You stop chasing comfort. You start chasing resistance. You hunt for the thing that makes you want to hesitate, and you move toward it. Step 2, the 3-second rule. Neutralize hesitation. Hesitation is the kill switch for action. In that space between thinking and doing, your brain has just enough time to mount a full-scale propaganda campaign. You're tired. It won't work. What will they think? The window to act is small. You have about 3 seconds.
So you install a manual override, the 3-second rule. It's stupidly simple, and that's why it works. The moment you identify a necessary action that your brain is resisting, you count down. 3, 2, 1, and you move. Not after 1, on 1. You wake up and the snooze button is glowing. 3, 2, 1, feet on the floor. You're staring at the blank document. 3, 2, 1, type the first terrible sentence. You're avoiding a difficult person. 3, 2, 1, hit dial. No thoughts, no debate, no pros and cons, just the countdown and physical motion. You are bypassing the democratic debate in your head and going straight to executive action. Action, any action, kills overthinking. It sends a shockwave through your system that says, we are a person who moves. We are not a committee. Do this enough times and you start to rewire the reflex. Hesitation begins to feel worse than action. Inertia becomes the uncomfortable state, not the default. Step 3, the daily discomfort ritual. 1 act of war. You don't need a 50-step perfect morning routine. You don't need to overhaul your entire life on day 1. That's your brain's trick, setting up a goal so big and complex that it's easy to abandon. All you need is one thing, a daily discomfort ritual. 1 non-negotiable small act that you do purely because it's hard. because you don't want to do it, and because it trains obedience. This is your daily skirmish, your training exercise. It can be anything. A 60-second cold shower at the end of your normal shower, doing 20 push-ups the moment you get out of bed, writing for 15 minutes without editing, speaking one honest opinion in a meeting, turning off your phone for 1 hour of deep work, waking up 30 minutes earlier to just sit in silence. The content doesn't matter as much as the consistency and the character of the act. It must be deliberately uncomfortable. It must be a conscious choice to move toward resistance. Each one of these is a punch to your weakness. It's a direct message to your primitive brain. You do not set the agenda anymore. I do. You are not doing this to get ripped or to write a novel, though those might be side effects. You are doing this to prove a point to yourself every single day. The point is that you are in command. Your goal is not to feel ready, motivated, or pumped up. Your goal is to act until your brain finally, reluctantly, shuts up and follows orders. It's like training a dog. You don't wait for the dog to feel like sitting. You give the command and you ensure it's followed, consistently, calmly. Your mind is the dog, a very smart, very anxious dog that needs clear, consistent leadership. Step 4, identity over outcome. Become the machine. This is the deepest work. Most people try to change their actions to get a result, hoping that the result will change how they feel about themselves. It's backwards. It's fragile. You wait to feel disciplined before you act disciplined. Warriors, operators, people who execute, they don't wait to feel anything. They decide who they are and then they act in accordance with that decision, regardless of feeling. You are not trying to complete a task. You are building an identity. You are becoming a person who does hard things, not perfectly, not without fear, but consistently. So you stop saying, I should work out. You start saying, I am a person who respects my body and trains it. Then you act like that person. You stop saying, I wish I could speak up. You say, I am a person who values honest communication. Then you speak. The action follows the identity, not the other way around. Tell your brain plainly, I am not lazy. I was trained to avoid pain. That training ends now. And then you go do something hard, and you do it again tomorrow. You're not checking a box. You are casting a vote every single time for the person you are becoming. You are rewiring your identity at the deepest level. The goal is to become a machine, not emotionless, but reliable. A machine that when pressure is applied, doesn't crumble, it functions, it thrives, it finds clarity in the chaos, just like that fictional lawyer sifting through 1,000 pages to find the one precedent that wins the case. The pressure is the environment you're built for.
This is the merge. The dream isn't some floaty, distant thing. It's built daily, brick by brick, through these intentional, uncomfortable acts of self-command. The bigger life is waiting, but it's accessed through the smaller, harder choices you make right now. You are the only thing standing in your way, and you are also the only one who can move yourself. So let's end this grounded. Let's end with your next move. Tonight, or first thing tomorrow, I want you to do one thing, just one. Implement your daily discomfort ritual. Pick the one small, hard thing you will do. Make it so small it seems insignificant. A 5-minute walk in the cold, writing one paragraph, making one difficult phone call. But do it with clear intention. Your intention is not the outcome of the walk or the paragraph. Your intention is to train command, to have a small, quiet victory over your own resistance. Then, when the moment comes and your brain kicks in with its masterpiece of an excuse, use the tool. 3, 2, 1, move. Don't think, just do the thing. Feel the discomfort. Redefine it. That's the feeling of the old you losing ground. That's the price of the dream. Pay it willingly. You have obeyed your brain's fearful whispers long enough. That version of you, the one that hesitates,
that chooses the easy scroll, that stays silent, it can die today, quietly, without fanfare. Just make one different choice. The dream is waiting, but it's not waiting for a perfect, fearless hero. It's waiting for the real you, the one who is messy and scared and does the hard thing anyway. Start with one small step. Hit that like button to support this channel and subscribe to keep posted. One act of war. Let's build this thing together. See you in the next one.